And that's the end of the first half. As the teams head to the locker room, the Spartans lead the Bulldogs by a score.
You guys stink.
Geez, Coach, we're only down a couple of points.
No, I mean you guys really smell. You need to hit the showers. And here, I got every one of you new bars of soap from the Sterling Soap Company. Each bar is artisan crafted using natural ingredients and essential oils. They also have shave soaps, colognes, beard balm, and a whole lot more. Now get in there.
But Coach, we have another half to play.
I don't care. I can't stand to be around you.
A few minutes later.
All right, bring it in tight. You guys are still playing terrible, but you're smelling great out there. Now listen, you're going to need to stock up for the rest of the season. We got a lot of tough games left. So go to sterlingsoap.com after the game. That's STIRLING soap.com. You got that?
Yes, Coach.
Great. Sterlingsoap.com on 3. 1, 2, 3. Sterlingsoap.com.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Yesterday's Sports on the Sports History Network. Today we'll have part 2 of the 1940s Chicago Bears dynasty. And we left off last week. We were about to go into week 7 of the 1941 season. The Bears' rushing attack was back on track in a week 7 game against the Rams. They gained 256 yards on the ground and another 202 through the air. In the fourth quarter, George McAfee took a lateral 42 yards to the end zone to seal a 31-13 victory. The following week, Sammy Baugh threw for 263 yards against the Bears' defense, but they intercepted him 3 times on their way to a 35-21 victory over the Redskins. The next week, the Bears' running attack continued to dominate, gaining 224 yards against the Lions. The Bears' defense crushed the Lions, limiting them to just 93 total yards and 3 first downs. The final score was Chicago 24, Detroit 7. In a game against the Eagles the following week, the Bears trailed 14-0 at halftime, but completely dominated the second half. In the third quarter, Hugh Gallarneau returned an interception 46 yards for a touchdown to tie the game. Leading 28-14 in the fourth quarter, John Siegel caught a 59-yard touchdown pass. Soon afterward, Bob Swisher scored on a 60-yard interception return. Hugh Gallarneau sealed the victory with a 54-yard touchdown reception. 7 unanswered touchdowns resulted in a final score of 49-14. The Bears needed to win their next game to stay even with the division-leading Packers, but it was hard to focus on football after what happened earlier in the day. The Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, killing 2,403 Americans and injuring 1,178. For the second week in a row, the Bears fell behind 14-0. It wasn't until Hugh Gallarneau ran for an 18-yard touchdown in the third quarter that the Bears took the lead. The Cardinals retook the lead in the fourth quarter before George McAfee put the Bears back on top with his 39-yard touchdown reception. A short time later, McAfee ran for a 70-yard touchdown to secure Chicago's 34-24 victory. But there was no celebrating, as everyone's thoughts were with the victims of the Pearl Harbor attack. The Bears and Packers finished the season with identical 10-1 records and faced each other in a tiebreaker playoff game. Green Bay took an early 7-0 lead, but the Bears tied it when Hugh Gallarneau returned a punt 81 yards for a touchdown. From that point on, it was all Bears as they cruised to a 33-14 victory. The Bears dominated the line of scrimmage, rushing for 277 yards while holding the Packers to just 33. Bears' opponent in the NFL championship game was the New York Giants. The attendance at Wrigley Field was only 13,341 due to wartime restrictions. With the score tied 9-9 in the third quarter, the Bears took control, scoring 4 unanswered touchdowns. The last one, a 42-yard fumble recovery by Ken Cabana. The final score was 37-9, and the Bears became NFL champions for the second consecutive year. The 1942 Chicago Bears aimed to become the first NFL team to win 3 straight league titles. They started strong, winning their first 5 games before coach George Halas left to serve in World War II. Hunk Anderson and Luke Johnsons took over the coaching duties, and the team continued to perform well. The Bears' defense allowed just 1 touchdown over their next 6 games. They finished the season undefeated at 11-0 and outscored opponents 376-84. In the NFL title game, they faced the Washington Redskins. Despite the Redskins' impressive 10-1 record, the Bears were the heavy favorites. However, Washington accomplished what few teams had. They shut down the Bears' potent running game and pulled off a 14-6 upset victory. The 1943 season faced a player shortage because many players were serving in World War II. The Bears were so desperate for players that they signed Bronko Nagurski, who had been retired for 5 years. In the season opener, the Bears led the Packers 21-14 in the fourth quarter until Don Hudson scored a touchdown on a 37-yard reception. The Bears' defense held the Packers to just 55 yards passing, but the 37-yard catch to Hudson ended the game at a 21-21 tie. The following week, the Bears started strong when Sid Luckman connected with Bill Gayer for a 64-yard touchdown. The Bears led 14-0 in the second quarter, but the Lions came back to tie it at halftime. Harry Clark put the Bears ahead again with a 26-yard reception for a touchdown. Hampton Poole extended the lead with a 42-yard catch, giving the Bears a 2-touchdown advantage. The final score was Chicago 27, Detroit 21. Bill Gayer was the top performer on offense, catching 3 passes for 113 yards and 1 touchdown. In Week 3, Gayer continued his momentum from the previous week, scoring on a 40-yard touchdown reception from Sid Luckman. Luckman had an impressive day, completing 10 of 18 passes for 211 yards and a touchdown. Bears defense forced 6 turnovers, leading to a 20-0 win. The Bears' Week 4 opponent was the Steagles. Due to the player shortage, the Steelers and Eagles combined their teams, calling themselves the Steagles. The Bears fell behind 7-0 before Dante Magnani tied the score with a 96-yard kickoff return. Leading 35-7 at halftime, Harry Clark scored on an 81-yard fumble recovery to open the third quarter. The Bears amassed 210 rushing yards, and Sid Luckman completed 11 of 17 passes for 169 yards and 3 touchdowns. The final score was Chicago 48, Steagles 21. Next up for the Bears were the Dodgers, not the baseball team. The war greatly impacted attendance in 1943, with only 9,600 fans showing up at Wrigley Field. Leading 12-0 in the second quarter, Dante Magnani ran for a 79-yard touchdown. The 33-21 final score was misleading, as the game was never close. The Bears outgained the Dodgers in total yards 446 to 180. Sid Luckman continued to perform like the league's top quarterback, completing 15 of 22 passes for 229 yards and 2 touchdowns. Leading 7-0 in a Week 6 game against the Lions, Harry Clark extended the lead to 14-0 with a 38-yard touchdown reception. Dante Magnani scored on a 51-yard reception in the third quarter to make it 21-7. In the fourth quarter, Gary Famigletti ran for a 31-yard touchdown, and Jim Benson caught a 25-yard touchdown pass. The final score was Chicago 35, Detroit 14. The Bears' running game kept dominating, totaling 240 total rushing yards. A Week 7 game against Green Bay at Wrigley Field drew a strong crowd of 43,425. The Bears fell behind early, but a 66-yard touchdown reception by Ray McLean evened the score at 7-7. That was the halftime score. In the third quarter, a 38-yard touchdown reception gave the Bears a 14-7 lead, and they went on to win 21-7. It was their 6th consecutive win. The following week, the Bears faced the Giants at the Polo Grounds in front of 56,681 fans. Sporting events helped distract people from the war. With a 28-7 lead in the third quarter, the Bears didn't let up. Harry Clark caught a 66-yard pass for a touchdown. Hampton Poole capped off the win with a 40-yard touchdown reception, giving Chicago a 56-7 victory. Sid Luckman completed 21 of 32 passes for 433 yards and 7 touchdowns. Such stats were nearly unheard of for a quarterback in the 1940s. The Bears' hopes for an undefeated season were shattered in a Week 9 game against the defending NFL champion Redskins. The Bears' defense struggled to stop the Redskins' running attack, which gained 213 yards on 45 carries. Sid Luckman threw 3 interceptions, and the Bears lost 3 fumbles. The final score was Washington 21, Chicago 7. In the final game of the regular season, the Bears played lethargically against the 0-9 Cardinals. With the Cardinals leading 24-14 in the fourth quarter, the Bears finally woke up and scored 3 unanswered touchdowns to win the game 35-14. That will conclude our podcast for today. Join me again next week, and we will pick up with the championship game, the 1941 NFL championship game. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, and God bless.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Gridiron Japan!
Hello, Sports History Network listeners. I'm Greg St. James, and I'm inviting you to take a journey with me across the Pacific
with Gridiron Japan Radio. I'm joined by a powerhouse team to bring you the best of football here in the land of the rising sun. We've got John Gunning of Inside Sport Japan and the Japan Times, star international and ex-League quarterback Aaron Ellis, and we're thrilled to welcome the new duo from the newly relaunched From the 55-Yard Line podcast, which is now Gridiron America Radio, co-host Dave Solinsky and Mike Tackett. We cover the Japanese X-League as well as the college game and interview the players and coaches who are making a splash here on the far side of the world. Subscribe today and help us celebrate the global game.